You know, it's always almost cringeworthy when I hear people talking about how to restart a relationship with your ex, right? How do you start it over? How do you start fresh with them and all those things? And not because you want to restart this relationship with your ex. There's nothing cringeworthy about that. In fact, two people that decide to truly do what's necessary to make a relationship work can fix anything, right? If you both agree to and decide to do the things necessary for that to happen, that's not the issue. The issue for me, when it comes to people talking about restarting relationships with their ex and why I don't condone looking to your past in that way, is the reason why you want to restart the relationship with your ex, right? The headspace, the mentality, the way of thinking that you're in right now that's even motivating this desire to try to go rekindle that old flame with that person that should be in your past at this point. And the core reason people want to go restart something with their ex, a relationship that didn't work the first time, is because whenever you break up with your ex, you start experiencing after a period of time a sense of loss. You start feeling the sense of a loss of familiarity and comfort. That familiar need for certainty, that need of ours, one of our core human needs, is no longer being met in a way that you've grown accustomed to. Feeling significant, right? Like you're mattering to someone, you're special to someone. That's not being met like it was. And then the connection need, right? The need for love. You're not getting that external pouring into you love source from someone else that you've grown so used to loving, because we're tribal by nature. So it makes sense. We want to be loved on by others. And whenever you don't have that source that's been always there and it's been familiar and consistent and it's built a comfortable space for you, then now it creates void and loss. So it's not your ex themselves, it's what they represented for you, what they allowed you to access and feel as a result of them being a contribution to your life in a different way, right? That's the thing that gets the switchboards in your mind going to where it starts connecting the proper neural pathways to facilitate certain ways of thinking, thoughts, and you start reminiscing over the good times and the memories that get you motivated to try to go back and get this person that was helping you meet some core needs. Now, the reason why this becomes a problem is because your mind and body, both of them together, they're designed to just help you meet your needs. They don't care how you get them met. It's your job to use your intellect to have better discernment as to the way in which you get your needs met. All your mind and body knows subconsciously and physically is that one thing that we were doing that helped us feel great and, feel loved and feel all the stuff we needed to feel to get our needs met was happening, and now it's not. So we need to get you to go back and get whatever that thing or that source was that allowed you to feel the way you wanted to feel. And then you start thinking and reminiscing all day long on all the good times. Oh, it wasn't so bad. You start just highlighting all the movie reel moments, right? The stuff that was pleasant and was so loving, and when things were great, maybe the honeymoon phase time period of the relationship, all the stuff, all the sauce that makes you want to go back and take another bite, right? But what it's not doing is putting to the forefront the really painful parts of that experience that led to the relationship ending, the underlying issues that never got fully resolved, the conflict that you never could get past and come to solutions on, the headbutting constantly, the emotional drain. See, you become so focused on filling that emotional void, that gap that's left there, that you forget a lot of the emotional turmoil you went through that got you to this place to even be filling this void in the first place. Then you get on the mission of contacting your ex, or they contact you, and you start having those little communication things again, stuff that feels good, that familiarity, right? And your whole desire to go do this and restart this relationship becomes heavily focused on getting that connection back that you miss, and just routine that you're used to, and not necessarily focusing on the issues that led you to the breakup in the first place. That's rarely focused on the way it needs to be. And what happens is you start slowly getting back into the groove with your ex. We're going to start better this time and everything else. But the underlying issues that got you here were never fully addressed. And for some, logical reason, it makes sense that they're not addressed, right? When you spend all this time in nostalgia realm, right, in the dream world, think about how amazing things were at the good times in the relationship and how it wasn't that bad. You don't want to think about the bad stuff. because you want it to be able to work. You want to think positively, right? So you come back to the table with your ex and they're thinking the same way. Let's just start fresh. Let's just put that all behind us, that kind of talk, right? And that sounds great. But that stuff that you're trying to put behind you has a trail to it. It has patterns and habits to it. And if you don't address the patterns and the habits that created the end result, then you're doomed to repeat it. It's that whole history analogy, right? And this happens time and time again, and people wind up back in the same boat again, right? Because both people did not do what they needed to do to make sure this second time around could be successful, right? And this is the other piece that I get into with people when it comes to wanting to restart that relationship. At the end of the day, even if you are wanting to work on and address certain things that contributed to the issue on your end, the other person has to do the same thing. And it is very rare that both parties have done that sort of self-reflection and that sort of internal work so that this second time around, it can be successful. And then what winds up happening, you and your ex start this whole relationship rebuilding phase, right? Start trying to do it better this time. But the core underlying values and belief systems, right? The things that make up your identity, the thing that you resonate with as a person, that you still believe in, they're going to start to show up again in the personality mismatches, the, characteristic flaws that doesn't work for one person or the other person, or the same, debate over a certain belief system that neither person is willing to flex on. The same things that got to be painful enough and turmoil enough to where things ended the first time wind up having you back in that same boat again, to where the reconciliation is not as genuine and as authentic as it needs to be, because it's riding on just the good bubbly feelings of the past to help nurture your needs of the present. This is why your main focus shouldn't be looking to your past to try to feel great again, to be hopeful towards your future. It should be getting aligned in the present with what you need to do in order to meet the needs and feel the way you want to feel on your own, that you are able to feel with your ex in your life, right? Figure out how to do that first. Then you get to a space of clarity, more aligned and more in a healthier headspace, even understanding your role in the relationship dynamics. Then if you want to entertain some sort of a rekindling with your ex, now you can go evaluate them from a healthier headspace. And 9 out of 10 chances, you're not going to see them the same way and desire them the same way after you've gotten more whole and rounded off, versus trying to entertain something with them from a space of lack or void. So before you go and commit to trying to restart this relationship with your ex, ask yourself one crucial question. Do I really want them back because they are my person? Or do I really want them back for what they represented and what they poured into my life that I feel is not here now without them there? Because if it's the second one, you need to focus more on how to provide that for yourself instead of going back to someone else that doesn't work for you ultimately, but it's being the source of your needs that you should be the source of. Let's get it.